Hello and welcome, beautiful soul family, our little family of light. We've had a break and we're back fresh and ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
With season 3 with the first show. I'm Caroline Crawford.
And I'm Paul Crawford.
And it really is wonderful to be back with you. We're looking forward to sharing good few new topics in the coming months and really hoping that you feel inspired by it and you can take from it what is really helpful to you on your pathway of your soul's expansion. So thank you for being here with us. We just really appreciate it and we absolutely love sharing our time with you.
Yeah, and before I share what's coming up on the show, I just want to remind you, those of you who are watching on YouTube, then if you like what you're seeing and hearing, then please subscribe and like the video, but also put comments down below. We really enjoy reading them and interacting, but also it helps the show out with the algorithms and everything else. So it's really important just to help this channel grow even more and get that message of love out there. Okay, so on tonight's show, we're going to have Caroline will be giving a planetary energetics forecast update, and that's with the Federation of Light. And we're also going to be discussing about going beyond any distractions to achieve that expansion, that greater and increased expansion. And also we're going to be touching on just being more courageous in our desires for creating a better world, especially in these very changing times. And as always, we're going to have Jarama, our spirit team, coming through with their wisdom and their teachings. We always look forward to that. And this time round, I've actually got some questions from one of the viewers as well, so that'd be very interesting. But to kick things off, to start season 3 off, then Caroline's planetary energetics forecast is how we're going to be doing it.
So welcome, dear souls. This is indeed very exciting times, and you may have noticed that these energies have been coming in far more strongly of late, and this is going to continue to build as a new chapter is coming in, not only for humanity and the planet and Mother Earth herself, for remember, Mother Earth is a living being of light, a living, breathing being, and she supports you every step of your journey. These energies that have been coming in have been strengthened to raise the vibratory rate of all humanity so we can reach these higher frequencies, these higher levels of greater love, of greater understanding, of greater peace and oneness. But in order to reach those higher states, obviously the ground has to be cleared of what you may well ask. These energies that are coming up to be cleared are those that are long-held, outdated beliefs, fears and anxieties, conditioning, and things that you have maybe not realised being almost programmed to think in a certain way. Now, many of you have already released a lot of this as you've become far more aware, particularly since lockdown, because although you may see that as a negative thing, it also had very many positive reverberations in that it made you look within. It created some stillness. It created that time to reflect that is so necessary in order to connect to the deeper level of your true existence. So these energies that are coming in, dear souls, are going to shake up almost, like imagine one of those little snowflake globes you have at Christmas. You shake it up and the snow goes everywhere and then it settles again. Well, your emotions and your thoughts and your beliefs are very much like that. and they're being shook up at the moment in order to be released, to create space to allow in a greater presence of your true self, of your true nature, of your soul. And these energies come in through your heart, raise your vibratory rate, and bring you greater freedom, and a greater freedom to be who you are, to shine your light like beacons in the world, helping you and assisting others as they find their own pathway. So, although these energies may feel uncomfortable at times, sit with them, be okay with them, face them, process them, and in this way you will release any hold that any negative feelings or any fears that have held you and limited you to be released and experience a greater joy in your life. So you move more clearly and strongly towards the trajectory of your soul's purpose, of where the collective, of where humanity is heading at this time. Think and still envision that world of great compassion, of great creativity, where everybody trusts their intuition, where everybody respects another's pathway, where everybody enjoys the fullness of who they are. Because never lose sight, dear ones, that you are a soul on an individual journey. Some of you have come to assist others that have come here through choice that didn't have to come, and others have come to work out things to expand their souls and their light to a greater level. And whichever it may be comfortable, be at peace with yourself, and enjoy finding those times to really nurture that relationship with you. For this is what these energies now are encouraging you to do. Because as you break free from those fears, from any conditioning, from any fears that other people are feeding you, because as you illuminate into your true self, into your soul's existence, you will see things as they truly are, and they will not affect you in a way that they may have once done. So we know that the media is still on a certain trajectory to control, to manipulate, that don't always tell the truth as it is. So please, dear souls, be aware of this. Find the truth within your heart and your soul, for you all hold great wisdom within you from many lifetimes, and you are beginning to remember as you open up like a beautiful flower, layer by layer of greater wisdom, of greater understanding, of greater joy and compassion and integrity. Remember, if something doesn't feel right to you, there is a reason for that. Don't be in a rush. Take your time to consider what feels right for you. Because if anybody is trying to put their fears on you and control you, they want you to rush, they want you to make a decision now. But take your time from the wisdom and the gentleness and the empowering energy of your soul, as these energies are coming in waves to assist you. And we know also that in your earthly time, tomorrow is a time of the equinox, and this is a great window of opportunity. It's almost like waiting to pick the fruit from the tree when it is ripe. If you wait for that right timing, you will find things fall into place far easily, much more easily for you. So use this time from now right through next week and the coming weeks as a window of opportunity to connect to your soul, to release what is no longer serving you and grow into the fullness of your being. You are all strong individuals. You are all souls on a journey to create greater harmony within your life and within this world. So allow these energies to move through you fluidly. There's no need to tense up, because that causes restriction and then causes limitation, and you will feel that resistance then of your physical self. But when you're in the energy of your true self, of your soul, and those divine energies of Mother Earth, of your ancestors, of your guides, of the angels, archangels and masters, and this divine consciousness is always supporting you. You only have to tune in and ask, and at times not even to tune in, to just ask and allow that energy to flow through you. So enjoy these times of expansion, enjoy these times of greater light coming onto the earth with these codes that are opening you up to experiencing your life in the way your soul intended. And take this energy into your heart and allow yourself to be peaceful, to be at ease, and to find that greater sense of truth and ease and freedom within yourself, dear ones, as these energies continue to accelerate to take you to that higher level of frequency, of compassion and love and understanding. We leave that with you, with many blessings.
So many true words, quite a lot to think about, so just take your time to absorb them. And I think for me a really key point was about not tensing up over something, just remaining calm, remaining flexible of mind, flexible of body, flexible of attitude. It really does helps to keep your connection a lot more open and a lot more expansive and positive, rather than closing off and limiting. So thank you, that's great.
Yeah. Well, that was a first for me, by the way, because though I am used to channeling, it's the first time I've actually let that happen with my eyes open, and it actually felt okay. Good. So
yeah,
thank goodness that went well. Oh. So yeah, going beyond life's distractions to achieve increased expansion is the main heading of our topics.
And I think show. For me it's really being mindful and aware of those repeating patterns, things that you always get distracted from, and really they're almost like, to a point sometimes, when you get that stuck and that sidetracked, they're sabotaging our dreams. And the more we can be aware of them when they're coming in, and when we're acting in that way, that we can then start to make different choices and do things a bit differently. We can start taking that better control about what we want to do and where we want to go, maintaining our dreams of moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that, life is about not feeding into other people's fears. Often people can come over and be anxious with some drama or some conspiracy theory, something else, and it's important that you stay connected to your truth and don't let these distractions, pull you in and take you from your true path. And fear is not something that means something is wrong. It's very much a part of our physical existence to help us to learn to go beyond those fears, to go beyond those limitations that do restrict us and that almost strangle the joy out of life if we're not careful by living in somebody else's fear or anxiety. But they are part of a process of helping us to expand as well. And to help us move forward. Remember, fear, that energy of fear is very restrictive and very limiting. But the energy of love is infinite and expansive.
Yes, absolutely.
So if we feel fearful, which we all do, this last few weeks, I've been through some really big shifts. But I'm so glad that I did, because I feel stronger, I feel much more relaxed, you know, and because of that. So
I think it's a natural part of living physical life, that there's going to be that ebb and flow of, as we've spoken about before, and it's realizing that, you know, fear is a natural part of life. Accept it, but don't allow it to take control of you. Don't allow it to grip you.
no.
And to remember that there are those in this world who will use fear, or try to use fear, to control you. And in controlling you, they're keeping you away from your pathway, away from what you want to do, and following their agenda. Okay, so, and this is where you have the choice to move away from that.
Yeah.
Like they say, what you focus on is what you attract, and what you're pulled more towards as well. So really important. And the more that we can stay in tune with ourselves and aware of our emotions and how we're feeling, the easier it becomes to allow that inner wisdom, that wisdom of our soul, to actually expand more, to come more to the front, and things become a lot more clearer. We hear these insights, and see these insights in a much clearer and stronger way, that actually are there to show us the way forward.
And I think you know, you hit on the word aware, and I think, you know, be aware and be conscious of what we are being involved in. Are we being drawn into distractions? Because if we allow ourselves to be aware of that, then we can try and cultivate and maintain a state of courage and belief in our true nature. Because our true nature never sets out to make us anxious or fearful. And the more, you know, we can follow that with greater clarity, starting with those whispers of our souls, that the more regularly we do that, obviously the stronger that is going to get. But creating your life from your true nature, even if you don't know the full picture, the end result, that doesn't matter, but you're moving towards it, because always we don't know everything. The universe, that great wisdom of creation, is consistently changing, and it's fluid, and it's kind of collaborating to bring about the best results. So what we might think one day can completely change. So just be fluid, be open to those whispers of your soul, and have that courage and that conviction to trust in your inner voice and to follow that through. Not what somebody else thinks you should or shouldn't be doing, but follow that course of your true nature, your true existence. Because like you say, you know, distractions and fear are part and parcel of being in the physical, but the challenge is not to let them be a permanent part of you, and to move through.
It's like it's that temporary state of being, and because fear can actually get you to move into action, to take action. But if it becomes overwhelming and you allow yourself to stay there and to be engrossed in it, then it becomes containing and limiting. And the more that you can actually become much more aware of that greater connection to yourself, that leads to that greater clarity, and that leads then onto that increased divine inner guidance. And I love that phrase that you said. It's like that whisper of the wisdom of your soul. And often you find when someone's whispering, we close ourselves off to everything else, and we want to listen more, we pay attention more. So let's start paying more attention to that whisper of that inner voice.
So to kind of round up, I think, you know, I'm often asked, how do we know when we're connected? How do we know when we're allowing that greater energy of our true self, of our soul, to become a greater part of us? And how do we know the signs of that? Well, the greatest sign that we can have is that we go beyond words, beyond explanation, into a deep feeling of knowing. A feeling of knowing what is right, of knowing. And that is when we're moving in to our higher energies of our soul, of our spirit, of the universe. We don't have to justify, we don't have to explain, we just have this knowing that that is what is right for us. So cultivate that courage, those still times, make them as often as you can as we keep riding through these waves of energy. So I can feel and hear Jarama coming through. I do have some questions, and we'll see what he wants to do first.
Hello, my friends. And are you well?
We are.
Shall we begin with the questions?
Oh, right, okay. So this is from a lovely lady, a friend and client of mine called Joanne, who's in Anna Marie Island, not far from here, very beautiful. And she wanted to know, what is soul family and how do we know who that family is? How do we connect with them? And then also, when we leave our bodies, she understands that each person's experience may be a little different. However, is there a general process we go through? For example, the Tibetan Book of the Dead describes different stages or bardos that people experience.
So, soul family. You do not need to try and seek them out, for you will quite naturally come upon them and be amongst them. Some of that will be family, some of that will be friends, some will be individuals that you meet along the way. Mm-hmm. But often those what would seemingly be chance meetings are meetings that are always destined to be, when they bring you that special bit of information or insight that you really needed at that time. It might be that it is a kind word. It might be that you suddenly become aware of someone else speaking in the background. This is all part of your soul crew that has been destined to come into this physical existence to assist each other's pathway, to assist in that further development. And the reason for incarnating, as we have said before, but we will say again, is for that chance of accelerated learning. Because within this physical existence, you are more open to those more negative elements of emotions, of life itself. As you have been speaking about fear and the impact that that can have on you, that is part of this physical existence and is there for a reason. It is there to be learned from, not to be trapped by it. In the same way that every aspect of life is there to be learned from and not be trapped by it. Remember, some would consider that you have no control over your experiences, but you do have the choice of how you respond within those experiences. Well, we take that further. It is your choices that create the energy within you that is then bringing those experiences into existence within your knowing, within your world, within your circumstances. So it is always about how you respond, how you react to things, the choices you make. And in taking that responsibility, you find that it can be very liberating for you, because it then puts the power back into your control. And as for when this physical existence comes to its natural end, as it always will do, it is that death is a part of life, this physical existence. But the soul moves on, and it takes on, depending upon your understanding of your true nature, depends on the extent of readjustment that needs to take place, because that's what it is. It's the readjustment of being incarnated into this physical existence and back into that greater freedom or that greater state of freedom in the non-physical. And some will adapt to that a lot quicker than others. But also realizing that whilst we will often talk of terms of you being an individual soul, you are more of an individual awareness or consciousness that is part of a whole thing. So nothing is ever separated. And this is why it's easier in the non-physical to actually communicate with each other and understand and feel and acknowledge. And because you are then not bound in the physical world by these more negative elements that are part of this physical existence, you can actually create that greater and further expansion and knowing and deepened state of awareness and being. So, as we often say, rather than using words to explain something, connect to it energetically. Because everything in existence is an energy. Everything that takes place is born from an energy. So allow yourself to connect to things in a more energetic way, to the emotion of something, to the feeling of something. Yes, sometimes logic and reason will come into it, but even that has a feeling and an energy to it. And as you allow yourself to become much more aware of the energy and the feeling of something, you become more in tune not only with that is taking place, but you're allowing that stronger connection to the divine element of yourself. And allowing those little whispers of your soul to come forward and to help you and assist you. Because it is always there. It is the one thing that is always present and constant in your life. And that is this inner knowing and this inner infinite aspect of love that is your true state of being. And so we say, endeavor to allow that to be who you are in this physical world. And that you will find then creates an energy that leads to this greater expansion in this more conscious, aware state of physical existence. And that is what will begin to elevate humanity onto a completely different plane, a completely different elevation towards greater enlightenment through greater and deeper understanding. And then you will see the real magic that can take place and the real magic that you are capable of achieving and doing, because it has been done before and it will take place again. Know that to be true, and it will be so. We feel the time has come for us to leave you.
Yes, there is one more question, but we'll leave that till next time. Thank you.
But remember, allow yourself the freedom to change your mind if you feel you're moving in the wrong direction. Nothing is ever permanent. You have the choice to make the changes you so desire. Be the change you want to be, and it will be so. Goodbye, my friends.
Thank you so much. Love to all. Well, there's been a lot of information through this show. I think I shall have to watch the recording a couple of times to absorb it all. But thank you, Paul. Thank you, Jarama. And we'll ask Joanne's further question in the next show. So to recap, just remember, fear is not something wrong, but face it, work through it. It's part of your existence to go beyond by using that energy and wisdom, those whispers of your soul, your intuition, to go beyond that into expansion and to help move you forward. Remember, you always have a choice, even when you feel you're in such a difficult, really bad situation. You know, if you can let go of that fear, you will find that choices become available to you. Remember, love is the infinite energy and it is expansive. Fear is limited and closes down. So be kind to yourself, be open with yourself, use your wisdom, use that wisdom of your soul to move you forwards away from distractions or feeding in to anybody else's fear or desires, not buying into that energy, but connect to your true existence to move you forwards to greater joy, magic and miracles.
And don't fear.
No.
Okay.
No.
Acknowledge your fears.
Yeah.
Any conditioning like that.
Yeah.
It's a natural part of physical life.
Yeah.
Acknowledge it and then allow yourself to move past it.
Yeah.
To leave it in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us, for sharing your, which we know, very valuable time with us. We hope you felt inspired, or you feel you've learned something. You can take some tool of inspiration and assistance away with you. We're here again next month, October 19.
Yes.
But before then...
Yeah, well, we've got our 33rd wedding anniversary coming up on Friday. Whilst we're going out for a nice little meal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're actually going to be taking a vacation in October, early October. But we will be back in time for the next show. But we're going to Sedona.
Yeah.
So really looking forward to that and getting amongst those vortexes and energies. And so it'll be fantastic.
Yeah. So remember the equinox, it's already gone, if you're watching on YouTube, those energies are still about. Take that time to release anything that you know has been holding you back, or you want to, and begin that new cycle and be more aware of what distractions you're being pulled into. So be aware of that. You know, is it work, is it family, is it friends, is it other conversations, old distractions, patterns. So be aware. With all my love, have a wonderful month, and I really look forward to seeing you again next month. Lots of love from me.
Lots of love from me.
And take care.
Bye for now.
Lots of love.
Look after yourselves. Cherish your true self and who you wish to be.